Well, you lot, let's turn the lights on. Ta-da! The other passenger bloody side was frozen solid. I managed to get in the driver's side, luckily. That's alright, it's happy days. Now, let's come and check on this dehumidifier. If you watched the video that I made yesterday, I don't know when you would have watched it or when it would have gone live, but I put a little dehumidifier inside this motorhome because the little ones that I've got weren't really doing the job. And I'm looking at the gauge now, and I don't think it's done a single dicky bird. I don't think it's worked at all, because the humidity was 85% when I left here yesterday, and it's still 85% now, and it's been running for about 17 hours. So I think it might be a bit of a foul and a waste of money, but we'll have a look at it and see if there's any water inside the little box. Now, I know some of you are going to say the temperature is going to be a problem. It's not going to work in because it's too cold. It's minus 4.8 degrees at the moment, nearly minus 5, 85% humidity. So that might be why it hasn't worked. I'm going to warm it up in here. We got these things, they're all right, they're working, but this is the thing that I bought to put in here. I put it in the sink in case it leaks. So let's turn it off and see if there's any water inside this. I have to do it that way around. I don't think there's a dicky bird in there. Bloody electric cable. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. There we go. No, that is absolutely bone dry. Not a single thing in there. Right. So it's looking like that my central heating's not having a lot of luck. It keeps turning itself off. I'm wondering if it's because it might be frozen on the outside. It might be too cold for it. So I might have to crack out the backup. I think it is trying. We might be able to get some heat out of it. There's not a lot happening really, to be fair. But if you're me, you've always got backups. That's my backup heater. Always keep a backup for everything. So we might have to put that on in a minute. Go get some heat in this place. I know what some of you are going to be saying. You need to get a diesel heater. I know. I'm in the process. All right. This motorhome, this camper van, is a work in process. I'm in the process of getting another diesel heater. I had an old diesel heater that I was going to put in here that I got off of someone. It was second hand. I tried it in the garage. Doesn't work. And well, I was going to try and mend it, but I ended up giving it away to someone else who wanted to try and repair it. Anyway, that's a long story. So I'm in the process of saving up to get a diesel heater to put in here, and I've got the perfect place. It's all ready to go. I've got the wires, everything. I just need to save up to buy the actual diesel heater. So for now, because when we go to campsites, we've got 240 that we pay for anyway. The heating that here and that backup heater is fine for now. The diesel heater will be for when we're not in them sort of places and we need 12 volts and I can just run it off the battery, and that will be ideal for this situation right now. But in this particular situation right now, I haven't got a diesel heater, so I'm just having to warm it up with the heaters that I've got. So I'm fully aware about diesel heaters. There will be one in the future. Thing is, with these little dehumidifiers, the temperature will affect them. If the temperature's too low, they won't be able to work. But I've got a bigger one indoors, but I use that in the conservatory to dry the washing. I might have to bring it in here, and that little one won't do bloody nothing in there. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do about that at the moment. If I was to buy one of the bigger Eco Air ones, the trouble is they're a lot more money. We're talking probably 4 times what I paid for that. But they have a little heater element in them, and they will work. Trust me, I've had 3 or 4 in my conservatory over the years, different ones, and because obviously they need to heat in order to condense, in order to collect the water in the air, and they do a really good job. And it's gone down to like minus 10 in the past inside that conservatory, and that dehumidifier's been working fine. But I just couldn't outlay that much just for a dehumidifier to go in here at the moment. That's why I decided to take a bit of a gamble and buy one of the smaller ones. I'm fully aware the smaller ones rarely work very well. I know all about them, don't worry about that, you ain't got to tell me. It was just a bit of a gamble. That particular one had good reviews, and obviously you can't trust reviews. I mean, let's be honest, especially on Amazon, you really can't trust reviews. I went down to a local shop, I went to Curry's and all them ones. All they had was big ones, expensive ones, and I couldn't do that, so I wanted to take a gamble. And it's not always good to take gambles like that, because you might end up spending more and wasting the money that you gambled. But it is what it is, that's just life. We'll warm it up in here. I will warm it up in here. And then we'll see if that will start to work with a warmer temperature. And if it does start to work with a warmer temperature, because sometimes once you warm it up, the little heater element inside that dehumidifier will be enough to keep the temperature in here warm enough for it to keep working. It's like a knock-on cycle. That can be the case. We'll see. I'm certainly not going to keep the heaters on in here 24/7. That would be bloody ridiculous. But we're talking bankruptcy then. I just need it to be warm enough in here to keep the humidity at a reasonable level. That's the goal. Anyway, I've got to go and do some little errands, so we're going to have a little bit of an explore, see what we can find. I've got to go and get the tracking done on the car. Let's go and have a see what we can find. There's loads of frost around. Let's see if there's any fly tipping or anything exciting about. Ugh. It's cold, but it's not wet. It's like that dry cold. I love it, kind of. Apart from when I can't feel my fingers. Well, you lot. Went back to have my tracking looked at again. It's still not right. It's actually worse than it was. It was adjusted again, but it was actually, now the steering's even worse. So I'll have to try and sort that out. But what a lovely bloody day it is. I can't believe it. All the ice. Well, there's not so much ice down this road, but where I've just come from, there was loads of it. Looked quite nice and picturesque on all the cars and the trees and whatnot else. Well, it's definitely warmer in here now. 12 degrees, 12.4, 59% humidity, so that's going down. Obviously, with the heat, that'll go down. I've got this thing running, so I'm not going to run it for all bloody day. I want to get it up to about 20 in here, and then I'm going to let everything else take over. Got a, what's it, an oil heater I'll put in here, because they're not massively more efficient as far as energy goes, yeah, the electric bill, but because they're oil, because it's got a thermostat on it as well, which is handy, so it's not just going to run constantly. Because it's oil, once the actual heater goes off, it stays hot for a while, heating anyway, because the oil stays hot in a radiator. So they're a bit better than the fan one, because as soon as the fan goes off, the heat goes. know you all love a cold start. Get her warmed up a little bit. Don't want to make too much racket in the morning. What's the time now? About 9 o'clock. Warmed up, defrosted. Frozen. Oh no, I can't. Wanted to drain the toilet, but we're frozen. I'm gonna have to go and get some hot water and just pour it around that seal on that door. I wanted to drain my toilet out because I'd completely forgotten that I'd put water and that in it. Luckily it's not frozen at the moment, and hopefully it won't freeze, but I want to drain that out. All of you seasoned caravan and motorhomes are going to be going, oh, the toilet, always empty the toilet before the winterize it, blah blah blah. I know, but because we use this all year round, we go out in it all year round. We've been going out in it in the winter, we've been going out in it all the time. I keep the toilet toileted, I keep it stocked up because we want to use the toilet. Do you know what I mean? We stop off if we need a wee or whatever when we're driving around. We just stop and go to the toilet. You know, I'm not bothered about, oh, you shouldn't drive. I don't care. It's fine. It works fine. There's no problem there. Just with everything, you know, work and everything else, I completely forgot about the bloody toilet. I've emptied the tank, water tank and taps and all that. There's nothing in them. But I completely forgot all about the toilet. It was only when I was going down to get my tracking done, popped into my head, oh, the toilet. I thought, oh, bloody hell. So luckily it's not frozen, so that's fine. I'm going to empty it out later on. I'll get a bit of water, burn around the seal on that door, get the door open, I better empty it out, and that'll be that. So I know you're all going to have a go at me and go, oh, you should have. I know, but it's fine, don't worry about it. How's it going? Right, so this little dehumidifier ain't done a diggy bird, ain't done nothing. The temperature in here now is 20 degrees. So I'm trying to, because all of them are all different, right? And I know you're going to be shouting at the screen, you're going to be going, what do you expect? Dehumidifiers only work when they don't work in the cold and all that. That's bollocks. Some work in the cold. Like I say, I've got one in the conservatory right now as we speak, drying our clothes because it's the weekend and we wash our clothes on the weekend. And it works overnight, drying the clothes. And it goes, even if it's in the minuses in that conservatory, because it's a conservatory, it's not a room, it's a conservatory, and it still works. Alright? So some work, some don't. Now when I bought this little one, I read the description on it, and it didn't say that it, it didn't say that it wouldn't work when it was cold. Anyway, so I've just read the instructions, and it says, before using the dehumidifier, please check whether the ambient humidity and temperature meet the basic requirements, right? Now it has to be above 15 degrees. Well, actually no. No, it doesn't. I've misread it. No, it doesn't. Minus 40 is the lowest it'll go to. Don't know whether we're going to be able to focus on it or not with this camera. I'll try my very best. If you can read that or not, I don't know. But working temperature 59 Fahrenheit to minus 104 Fahrenheit. Well, I work in centigrade, so 15 degrees to minus 40. That says there, look, minus 40. Yeah, that'll never focus on it. Minus 40. Well, we're nowhere near minus 40. So it should work. Working humidity greater than 45%. Well, it was at 90%. It's now at 42 because the room is warmer. Please close doors and windows. Yep. So, I don't know. There's a living room, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, garage, basement, office, RV. Well, this is a motorhome, so. Well, I don't think it's working. Yeah, if the room temperature is below 15 degrees, the automatic defrosting function will be activated and the capacity will decrease. Well, 15 degrees shouldn't need defrosting, but we'll see. Anyway, there we go. I think we can determine that this dehumidifier is no good for being in here. So that was a waste of money. Never mind, is what it is. I'll have to work something else out. Either way, I think it's in my best interest to try and keep it as dry as possible in here. It should be fine. But I just don't, you know, the way I am, I can't just leave things alone. I just can't leave things alone. I'm always trying to do something, and it's a mission for me to keep this nice now. This camper van is a mission for me now to keep it nice, now that I've got to where it is now. So, if you just leave them in the winter, I've been there, done it. You ain't got to tell me nothing. I've been there. Many caravans, I've been there. If you leave them in the winter, they do get rotten inside. You know, condensation, mould starts to grow in corners and things. So we've got to keep it dry in here. So that's the goal. Anyway, you lot, I couldn't be happier. Everything's defrosted now. Can you believe it? Everything's bloody defrosted. The temperature outside, I don't know what the temperature outside is, but everything's defrosted. Everything's like a summer's day. Look at this. This is, I still don't know what this actually is called, but I know it's an old Kyosho from around about the year 2000. It was sent to me by a subscriber who said, look, I've got this, do with it what you will. And I don't think it's ever been ran. It's pretty much brand new. It's 25 years old. It's got a little GX12 engine in it. And I started it up this morning, and it runs perfectly. I don't think it's ever been ran in. I don't know what the model is of it, but it's I reckon it was some sort of kit car, you know, one that you build yourself, because just of the way things are, it doesn't really look like it's been put together in a factory. This is the shell that it came with. Didn't come with any radio gear. It came with a receiver, and it's got Futaba servos in it. It may have been ran and then cleaned really well. There is a few pieces of evidence down there of a little bit of dirt, but I reckon if it has been ran, it's maybe once or twice. It's hardly anything at all. But there we go. That is the end piece of this video. I've got 6.25 9486492464876 million other things to do, so I'm going to be off, and I'll catch you lot on the next one. I've got, as I say in every video, but the things I need to do and I've got planned never end, but I've got loads of stuff planned, in my head at least, for the Talbot. So if you like Talbot videos, definitely think about sticking around. I'll see you lot on the next one. All the best, take care, and treat people nicely. Treat people how you would like to be treated, and we should have a nice happy life. I'm going to keep on saying that until everyone learns to just get along. Cheerio.